In this video, we're going to tell you how to lift the Shadow Curse in Baldur's Gate 3's Act 2. Subscribe to the Linus Wilson channel. We give you the secrets to crush Baldur's Gate 3. So, if you have recruited Halsin after defeating the Goblin Camp in Act 1, he's just hanging around your camp, just talking about this Shadow Curse. You know about the Shadow Curse because it's got this, everything's black, you gotta have this special lantern. But how do you lift it? And it's actually really complicated to lift it, and it is also bugged. And we're going to tell you how to lift it, but I recommend using the timestamps in the description, so if we go over something that you've already gone past, you go to that timestamp, and then you go to the part that you missed. So the part that I think is bugged is the second teleport with Oliver. So if you're stuck on that, I'm going to tell you how you can overcome the bug. But we're going to go through this step by step. There's really two ways you can do this. Once you have Halsin in your camp and you're in the Act 2 Shadow Cursed area, so you must have Halsin in your camp, the first thing you need to do is you need to find Art. Now, the game doesn't really make this easy for you at all, but Art is a guy in bandages laying in a bed on the first floor of the Last Light Inn. So if you found the Last Light Inn, where all the friendlies are, you want to find him. Now, you can either find him dead or alive. So if you go up to the second floor and you talk to the Moon Priestess, then all craziness is going to break loose. Or if you talk to Night Song and you kill Night Song, everybody's going to be dead. That's actually the easiest situation to lift the curse, is when everybody's dead. So do not despair. You still can lift the Shadow Curse if everybody in the Last Light Inn is dead, including Art, the dude in bandages. So it's easier to lift the Shadow Curse if Art is dead, because all you have to do is do a speak with dead with him. And he will mention Thaniel, the boy that Halsin is obsessed with. You go back to Halsin in your camp, tell him about this, and then he'll have you defend a portal. You defend that portal, and he'll get Thaniel out. Now, there's going to be a ton of enemies that coming through. I don't know what to say except, like, prepare the area, take the high ground, put grease around. I had very high characters when I did this, and you just want to stay alive until he comes out. And if you can do AoE attacks that can kill like several foes at once, that's the best for that portal. Now, if Art is still alive and everybody's still alive in the Last Light Inn, then it's actually a little harder. And so you can interview Art, and you might have some dialogue throws or whatever. But basically, you're going to learn that Art is a musician. He investigated the House of Healing. You want to go to that house. There will be a crazy Edward Scissorhands type surgeon there with these undead nurses. On the crazy undead surgeon named Thorm, you want to kill him, or you want to convince him through dialogues to kill himself, and then you can loot the Lute. So L-O-O-T, the L-U-T. The L-U-T is an instrument that you want to loot off the surgeon, the undead surgeon named Thorm. And then if you play that in the presence of Art, who's in the bed, then he's going to give information to Halsin, the druid, who is hanging out by the bed, if you discuss it with Halsin. So you actually have to enter a dialogue either with Art or Halsin and say that you're going to play the lute. It does not matter if you have a bard character. I'm having Lizelle the fighter play it, so if Lizelle can play it, anybody can play it, and then that will trigger the scene if Art is not dead. And so you'll get to take Thaniel. Halsin will tell you to meet him. You should do a long rest before you meet him at the first portal, and it'll be the same situation. You need to defend the portal until Halsin comes out with Thaniel. Okay, then after that, you need to go back to Oliver. Now, Oliver has this invisibility ring, And you might have seen him earlier. Don't stress if you've seen him earlier and you played hide and seek with him, or you didn't play hide and seek with him. He's at the ruined battlefield, which is the first fast travel you get in the game, where you pick up the moon lantern from the spider guy. And Oliver can be seen if you have, seeing invisibility, scroll, spell, or if you let the dude gouge your eye out, right? So if you let, I forget his name, the crazy guy in your camp gouge your eye out, and hopefully you had picked him up when you raided the goblin camp. He was captured by the goblins and he's in your camp now. Otherwise, you're going to need a see invisibility thing, but Oliver is going to, so when he gouges your eye out, he gives you a new eye, which works just as good as your old eye, except it allows you to see invisibility with that bionic eye. But you don't need that. You could also use a see invisibility scroll or spell. I don't know if there's a potion for that, but he's always going to be behind that wagon, right? So you go on the tree towards that house. He's going to be on that wagon, be behind that wagon, and if you got somebody that can see invisibility, you're going to pass the checks and find him for sure. And the 3 dialogues that he gives you do not matter. The key thing, though, is that you want to toggle your attacks to passive, right? Non-lethal attacks. And you want to make sure that you do not have any, like, poisons or acids or any other special effects, especially for the character that you're going to attack Oliver with. Oliver's the little kid with the weird eye, and he's probably going to summon Mommy and Daddy and the dog to attack you. But you want to have somebody to bird dog him before you kill Mommy and Daddy and the dog, the specters and the specter dog. If you have non-lethal attacks, then he'll live through this and he will not escape. So the game is bugged. It should have him go to a portal, which you can follow him in the portal, but it does not let you do that. This is a workaround if you use non-lethal attacks and you take him down to 1 HP and he's knocked out, and you kill Mommy and Daddy and the dog, and then you go back to camp, do a long rest, and he'll be healed. And you should also loot his ring off of him while he's knocked out, because then you can see him and he's not going to hide anymore. You want to talk to him and he's going to talk to you. He's going to run away through the portal, and then you follow him through the portal. Now do a save before you go through the portal. Make sure you've created all the, like, for instance, I'm creating elementals before this. We're making sure we're putting all the buffs onto our warriors, because then we're going to have a battle with Mommy and Daddy and then little tiny one-hit Olivers on the other side of the portal. For this, the key thing, probably in most cases you want to take out Mommy and Daddy, and then, which are the specters, and then take out the dome in which Oliver is in, and ignore the other little Olivers, which only have 1 HP, because he can create 4 of those per turn, and if you're spending all your time hitting those, then it's a waste of time, because he probably can create those faster than you can hit them. And so it's probably better to focus your fire on his dome, and once you bring down his dome, whether or not Mommy and Daddy are there, or how many of the little Olivers are there, then you basically won. And you can do any dialogue choice that you want. But if you want to have Halsin's approval, then you want to do the dialogue choices that are nicest to Oliver. So there's quite a few that are kind of nice and get Oliver to join with his alter ego Thaniel. Halsin will disapprove if you're mean to him, but it won't make a difference as to whether or not you have completed that part of the Shadow Curse. So basically, once you have gone through the art thing, and you've done the first portal where Thaniel is taken out, then Halsin is available to join your party, and that's most of what you're doing with the Shadow Curse, is trying to get Halsin to join your party so you can put him in the rotation. But to totally wipe out the Shadow Curse, Thaniel, who's also going to camp out at your camp in Act 2 until you've defeated Kethric Thorm, who's the big bad, which everybody's talking about, that you have to find the relic to defeat. And so if you find the relic and either kill or save Nightsong, see our video on that, then you're ready to kill Kethric Thorm at the Moonrise Towers. And then after that, then you can lift the Shadow Curse. So says Thaniel, the boy who was in the Shadowfell for a long time. Alright, let me know your experiences. Like I said, if you missed anything, make sure you skip to the part that you missed. Subscribe, let me know your experiences lifting the Shadow Curse. I agree, it is buggy. It is not explained very well. Good luck, adventurers. Bye-bye.